Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Kathy Rochemont, founder and educational director of Nail Basics. It is with great pleasure that I bring to you our new nail training and product knowledge DVD. In this two-part DVD, you will first learn in great detail the complete Nail Basics new nail sculpting process so you can be confident you are providing the best service possible to your valued first-time clients. In part two, I'm also pleased to introduce to you our exclusive and unique Nail Basics Gel System product line. Here, as I illustrate every gel in action, I will ensure that you understand the personality and what I like to describe as the what, why, and when of each gel and its recommended application. Now join me as I take you through the information and techniques that will empower you to be a leading nail technician in our industry. Before we start your service today, we're going to make sure our tools are properly disinfected so that you feel very comfortable with what I'm going to be performing on you. We start with our disinfectant system, which is called Excel TB. To disinfect our tools, the first thing that we're going to do is sanitize them. To sanitize, we lightly spray our tools down and give them a friction rub. For this situation, I want to prepare my tools in front of you so that you're confident that everything's clean and ready to go. To disinfect, the next procedure is to take your spray, give them a nice even spray, and let your tools sit in the disinfectant for 3 minutes. It's important that we disinfect our skin as well. For this, we're going to move to our Isogel. Isogel is a pre-service antiseptic. This is a medical grade product. It does carry a drug identification number, meaning it is active and will prevent the transfer of harmful bacteria. First, I'm going to apply some into my palm, and if you'd like to wipe that together like you were washing your hands, giving it at least 15 to 30 seconds of friction as you move the product through all areas of your fingers. This will make sure that there's no transfer of harmful bacteria. It's also our first step in dehydration, making sure that we have a very, very dry work environment so that we get the best bond possible in our products. Let's move into Cutique now. Cutique is our cuticle preparation product. This is an enzyme-based product. It will help to remove the protein residue that sits just beneath the cuticle tissue. We apply Cutique very generously to the cuticles. Cutique works on a potassium enzyme. Enzymes are active. They digest. That is why they're so effective in removing the protein that sits in the cuticle area. While we prep the cuticles, we go through a motion of first lifting the cuticle tissue and then tucking our tool under and sliding it towards ourselves. What this will do is pull that residue completely away from the nail plate. The nail plate is what we are going to be bonding our product to. If we leave any residue of protein on the nail plate, when we apply our bonding product, we will get an artificial bond, which will translate into a little bit of separation. Once we've finished with our cuticle preparation and see the debris that we've managed to pull up out of that cuticle, we're going to cleanse this off with a product that we call Clean Prep. And Clean Prep is from our Orly Natural Nail Care line, and it is a wheat protein-based cleanser. It will neutralize the enzymes of the cutique. Those enzymes, if left on the tissue, can cause irritation. So it is very important that we neutralize and remove our cutique within 3 minutes of application. At this point, we have a nail plate that is ready for our preparation. Our preparation of the keratin is the next step that we're going to do. We're going to use our MT20 electric file. Attached to this is our Timmel dust extractor, and this will remove any debris that comes up from our preparation. The position ergonomically correct is in an over grip. We're going to go fingertip to fingertip, not from underneath. This closes your body up. We're going to open your body so that we have good control of our finger and in a good open work position. Bringing your tool in with a pencil-like grip, and a fulcrum control. This means to plant your little finger on the side, which will give you pivot control as we move into preparing with our medium grit arbor band. We use an arbor band because it is a paper abrasive and it will not create any heat. Keeping that band very, very parallel, flush to the nail plate, we move through in very, very light strokes and into the contour of the nail along the growth channel, turning the finger along the other growth channel into the corner, and your prep is complete. We move to our second finger, again, keeping the bit very, very flush to the natural nail with a feather-like touch. Moving in rotation with the contour of the nail plate, turn your client's finger and into the growth channel and down along the cuticle corner, very gently. Our goal is to protect the natural keratin and keep it in its full structure, full integrity. Now that we're finished with our preparation, we move now into dusting all of the debris away. So we use a surgical brush, very, very soft, gentle bristle, to thoroughly remove any dust that may still be in our work environment, down along the growth channels, through the cuticle corner, and under any free edge that may be there. Now that we've finished our preparation, we're going to cleanse and dehydrate the nail plate, being sure that there's no debris or environment left prior to our application of products. For this, we're going to use a nail wipe that has no lint and our After Wipe product. And make sure that we cleanse right down into the growth channels along the cuticle corner, getting the entire nail surface nice and clean. Absolutely no environment, debris, or surface oils are to be left on the nail prior to our next application in our preparation. This next application in our preparation is our bondage. Bondage is our gel adhesive. It's going to create a bond between the natural nail and the product. We use our small bondage brush, one dip per nail. This works with a keratin protein bond and a polymer bond. The keratin pulls the protein from the bondage, and the polymer sits available for the bond of our first gel, which is going to be our first and last. Again, we're going to go back and put 2 more coats of bondage onto the nail keratin. Careful not to flood the tissue with the bondage. A nice even application starting from the center, letting this product move to the edges on its own. And with our last coat of bondage applied, in a nice full even coat, we are now ready to move into our application of our gel system. Normally we would move directly into our first and last to create our bond. However, we have a special situation here. We have this nail right here with a little bit of a red mark on it, some keratin damage. So I'm going to use one of our specialty gels at this point to correct that mark before we move forward in our application. The product that we're going to use to correct this little red mark on your nail is called Recover. The pigment of it has been fashioned to work with just about any color of nail plate. You can see it's quite pink. It's used very minimally with your small pro round brush. We're going to take just a little tiny bit of Recover and place it right on that little mark on the nail plate. And now we're going to feather that Recover in all the way around. If you don't feather your Recover in, it's going to look like a pink blob on the nail. You can see that that red mark is now vanished. So it works as a cover-up. With that applied, we're going to put our hand now into the light unit and let the Recover freeze for just 10 seconds, and we will move forward with our application of our first and last. First and last is our bonding gel. It is a medium weight viscosity. It's a polymer-based product that creates a very flexible, very durable bond to the keratin. You can bring that hand back to me now from the light. And for this, I am going to use the same Pro Round brush that I used for my Recover. We use the very tip of our brush to pick up a bead, taking the empty side of the brush to the ceiling, breaking the string and bringing it back in. Don't use a lot of this product. We come into what we call our pillowing now. Pillowing is a technique that allows you to create a surface tension control to your liquid product. If you watch carefully, you'll see as I touch the bead of gel, it pops out around the edge of my brush, creating a little round bead all the way around the nail as I move. You can see that little rim. It's like a dam that I've created that will stop the product from running. The center of the nail needs to be brushed through with a very small bead to finish that application of first and last. Don't overwork it. You want a nice full coat with that rounded edge. Again, picking a small bead up, breaking the tail on the edge of the pot and bringing it in. Placing your bead with a very light pressure. Just let it press so you can see that bead popping out, and a little light touch will gently guide your bead as close to the tissue as you can get it without touching. I'm using my thumb to pull that growth channel open to ensure that I get my pillowed first and last all the way over and encase the nail plate in its entirety. A nice light touch all the way around. Turn that finger so you can see that outside growth channel as you move that bead right up to the free edge. And again, a light touch. At this point, we're going to clear our smile line before we move to the thumb. We still have the thumb to apply. If I apply my first and last on the thumb right now, it may slide, it may move. So before we move forward, we're going to do our wipe the smile line. Notice how I wipe the gel away. The reason for this is to make sure that where I lay my white extension is simply white. I do not want a layer of clear sitting underneath my white. The bondage that I applied and the film of first and last that's left is more than enough to ensure that my white is going to stay in place. Now we're going to return your hand to the light unit for an additional 10 seconds, 20 at the most, to freeze this into place. As soon as we finish our first and last and wiping away the smile line on the thumb, we're going to move into our form application. We at Nail Basics have our own forms in our product line. Our forms are a yellow base. The reason that our forms are yellow instead of a dark blue or black and gold is for shadows. And I'm going to perforate the form open, take the cutout and just place it right at the back of the form. That'll give you a little bit more stability in your C-curved position. Now, form application is very, very important in placing the form correctly so that we get a good structure coming from our growth channel into our free edge. The form placement should look like this. Create the C-curve. Only pay attention to the center line on your nail form. Place the C-curve to mimic the natural C-curve, if any, of that client's nail. And move your form either up or down to match the contour of your client's nail plate. The arms of the form extend along the growth channel. The arms are then secured with your index finger and your thumb, and then draw your right index finger and thumb to the end, pinching together, making sure everything is secure and in place. To check your form, what you want to do is make sure that where you envision your product sculpting out from the growth channel lies right out onto the form. If your form is in the wrong position and is covering the growth channel like that, you're going to have a very difficult time creating a good support and strength structure in your application. So the arm of the form has to sit just below the growth channel line. To check your form placement, look down into the barrel of the nail, and you should be able to see straight through to each of the cuticle corners. Your form placement is imperative in sculpting a strong nail. If you don't get your form right, you might as well not bother sculpting. In our gel line, we have 3 different sculpting white gels. They can be used for new nails as well as in a nail fill application. Frost is the most durable white gel in our line. We do recommend that you start every new nail application with this particular product. We warm Frost on our warming plate. Frost is a very, very thick gel. It stays where you put it with a very slow self-level. We're going to use again our Pro Round brush to sculpt our Frost application. And we're going to start with the index finger. I've picked my bead up, one side of my brush is empty. I'm going to place it just off center, lighten up my touch, flatten my brush into a parallel position, circles, moves my gel across as I tuck and pull to extend, turning my brush on its edge to create the edge of the free edge and draw it out and across. Notice that I can see the thickness now with this one bead, completing this first portion of the nail. Go back, pick up a second bead, plant it right where I stopped, lift into a floating position, circle to move across, tuck and pull to extend. Circle to move across, tuck and pull to extend. Now at this point, if I circle or tuck and pull anymore, I'm going to end up with uneven shadows. Again, I'm able to judge my thickness and go back with one more bead. Connect, lift, float, parallel, circle. Notice I'm coming to the edge with the edge of my brush before my gel. I don't want to see this. I don't want to push my gel over. That will cause uneven shadows. I want to circle and pull my gel as I turn my brush on its edge, tuck into the smile line, and draw a nice straight edge right out. I'm just going to wipe my brush on the lip of my container and come back and just lightly make contact with my gel. It's almost like a little pillow effect, controlling the surface of that product, and blend it in with a light tuck and pull. Now at this stage, before I move on, I'm going to wipe my smile lines in. Take my brush, place it into the center of the smile line, give it a little bit of a pressure, and wipe down into the tuck, turn it over, grab my gel, and wipe down into the corner. And just detail a little tiny bit, if you need to, very carefully as you draw that white into the tuck. And now again, we're going to take our brush to the center, let it fan out. Think of this as a 6 o'clock position as you sweep your brush through into the tuck, which should be a 3 o'clock position. Think of a clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, finish at the 9. Just cleaning up this free edge, just lightly with the very edge of my brush. This detailing isn't necessary. You can certainly file it. However, if your touch is light and you're controlled with your brush, it makes your filing process just a little bit easier. And now with my 2 Frost extensions in place, we're going to return to the light unit to freeze that gel in place for 10 to 20 seconds before we move forward with our application. Okay, now your Frost is going to be frozen into position. Let's bring that hand back. I like to remove my forms now, but we have to be sure that everything is stable and frozen properly. So the trick to that is to pinch your form right above the C-curve and rock it down and take a peek. If it looks sticky, don't take it off. It's not ready. This looks really good. Then take one arm and the other and off comes the form. So again, pinch, take a peek. Looks good, and remove. Now we have moved into our Nail Basics white-handled brush. We're going to do a corrective technique. It's going to involve 2 of our gels, the first one being Build. Build is our heaviest viscosity in our clear gels. It is going to provide us with the most strength, the most durability, and workability that allows us to build a C-curve when none exists. Picking up my bead, placing it in the same position as I did my white, just off center, moving it to the growth channel and pillowing it lightly at that tuck. Pick up a second bead, place it in the center, Position my brush with that light, flat, parallel floating position as I move it across. Don't overextend it, only take it as far as it needs to go. And a last bead. My application process involves several small beads, not one big one. The reason for this is it gives me control. I have a very controlled application and not too much gel. There we go, our build is in place. Now at this stage you have the choice of either freezing it or carrying on with your flex. I am going to carry on with my flex. Know that you can always freeze your product, even halfway through. Flex is our thinnest in our gel line. It is very, very smooth and very runny. It requires a very light touch. It's used to create a foundation in a sculptured nail application, and it's also used as a blending gel. At this point, I've picked up my bead of flex. Take a look at this nail just from the side. There's a dip right here. This is where I'm going to place my flex, lighten my pressure. See how I'm almost pulling away? It's floating. I'm going to give this a little tuck and pull, just to the pillow of my first and last as I fill that little dip in. This area that I'm working on is called the foundation of the nail. See how that's just brought that right into full form? And there's a little bit of a dip at the top of my bridge where I placed my build. Another small bead, looking from the side, tuck and pull, tuck and pull. Notice the angle of my brush is mimicking the shape in which I'm going to be shaping my nail. I'm diving to the cuticle, flat over the bridge, and angling out of the free edge. Now I do want to blend my flex just to my pillow, not building my flex over my pillow. Your first application of first and last with the pillow is really the only gel that goes right to the cuticle line. Now I'm just checking, making sure everything's in good form, looks good. I do want to freeze these two nails now. In we go. Freeze those for just a matter of seconds to hold them into position. The middle nail is still a little bit shy in the bridge, and I'll show you what that looks like by judging the shine. Come on out. If you look at this one, the shine pops right over the bridge. This is the bridge, these are the supports of the nail. The shine moves nice and evenly through the support and rises over the bridge. Let's take a look at this one. The shine is very fat and broad, and it dips, it breaks right here. And if we look at it from the side view, it's shallow right here. So we're going to take one blending bead of flex, pop it into that dip, lift our pressure, float it through with a tuck and pull, and watch how that builds up. A new nail is often created with 2 to 3 coats or 2 to 3 layers of build and flex. In you go, we're going to freeze that. So that's what we call our corrective nail treatment: frost, build, and flex. The next nails we're going to do our easy nail application, where the nail plate that has been brought to us is absolutely perfect. It has nice parallel growth channels, nice even C curve naturally. So we do this entire application with flex. So let's bring those back out now. Returning my build to my warming plate, I'm going to work with flex. And I'm going to do flex on these two nails because we do have a parallel growth channel. Flex is used in 3 layers in our easy nail application. Our first layer is called a foundation layer. We bring it just above the pillow area of our first and last with, again, a light pillow action. Remember back to that pillow with first and last? A light touch, release, touch, release. Create that little round edge all the way through and blend it out. This is called your foundation layer. Now I don't want that line of division, so I'll take the very tip of my brush and just lightly blend that in. Not building up, but blending in, so it's nice and thin. I'm just going to clean that top side of my brush, and now I'm going to fill in the bridge of the nail and the support line. So there's my support. See how that line of shine came into play? I take my bead and I float it through the bridge of the nail now. And another bead to finish the bridge and pillow my support in on the right-hand side of the nail. Now at this stage, I'm going to pop back into the light and let that freeze, and we're going to finish this easy nail application structure with blending beads. Notice I have not moved away from flex. I'm building the entire nails with flex. Flex is the most flexible, the lightest, my favorite to work with. So all the uneven spots that your shine shows you, just move that nail. Look at how the shine wiggles and wobbles. There's a low spot right here, and from the profile I can see it right here. So we're going to take a blending bead into that position, and another little tiny blending bead into the bridge position. And that's it. We are looking good, we're done, and this will finish the sculpted application. In you go, into the curing light. With our full cure complete, we have a sticky residue that's left on this nail that we have to remove. We're going to use our after wipe for that. It's very important to cleanse away the sticky film from the nail as well as from your skin and your work surface. The sticky film of the gel can be quite detrimental to the health of the nail technician's skin. Your nail wipe is actually saturated, not just moist. Lots of after wipe, very, very clean. So these nails are now nice and clean, well dehydrated. We're now going to move into a very recommended shaping profile called the Shaping Roadmap, so that you keep the structure that we've so carefully placed in the nail. We're going to take our diamond file, which we disinfected at the very beginning of our service, and set our perimeter or our outside lines. Any gel that has made contact with the tissue along the growth channel at the edge of the free edge, we gently pop away with our fingernail. Don't use your file to push in and pop that away. It can break the bond to the nail plate. So now that we've gone through and popped any gel contact away, we're ready to go into using our diamond file. The most important thing about your diamond file is that it's very, very strong and rigid. It has no flexibility, so it will create very straight lines for you coming out of your growth channel into your free edge. Setting these outside lines will give you your visual for the rest of your shaping. Be sure that you set your lines carefully and cleanly. Now, this is a perfect one to demonstrate your lines. Notice on this nail how you have a bulk of product sitting outside of the growth channel and outside of the free edge. To bring your free edge into position, set your file in what we call a 0 degree, which means flat. Not like this, but flat, 0 degree. Nice, easy strokes will bring that line right up to the proper extension from growth channel into free edge. There's your 0 degree. Now we go into what we call a 90-degree angle, or straight up and down perpendicular. So we're going to make contact, file evenly with good even strokes, and that'll clean that line right in. Now let's just move that dust away and take another look. It's all gone. We've got a nice clean edge, perfectly even with the growth channel. Now you see how easy it is to clean it up with the right angles. 0 degree, 90 degree. I'm going to come to my other side now with my 0 degree to bring it up to the growth channel. 90 degrees brings it into the growth channel. I like to do what's called counteract my pressure when I'm working on a new nail. So I stabilize my client's fingernail as I file into it. Now we're going to do the extension. Now the length of a new nail is governed by the length of the nail plate. When you have a client that has, say, a nail biter, has a very, very active lifestyle, never extend her nails long. The extension or the free edge, the white portion, should never be more than about 1/3 of her nail bed. So her nail bed is your measuring stick. Break it into 3 parts, 1/3 should be extension. The most you should extend is 1/2 of that nail plate for a new nail client. We've just done step 1 of our shaping roadmap. So I'm ready to put my file away now and remove the dust that I've created with our nice soft surgical brush. The rest of our dust is going to be picked up with our Timmel dust extractor attachment. The second step of our nail shaping roadmap is our nail plate contouring. So I'm going to turn this nail to what we call the profile view as we work through just the center of the nail, setting our nail plate contouring, moving up the hill, down the hill, nice, even, natural flow. The next step is our cuticle corners, blending those corners out at the cuticle line, and then we move into our free edge, which is a beveling with a diagonal stroke of the free edge. We're blending the supports into the bridge to make sure that we don't have any excess width. The reason we leave our supports to the last step is we don't want to file them too thin. Now we move on to the thumb. Now let's take a look at the thumb from straight on. Notice it's a little thinner on this side, a little heavier on this side. There's some thickness sitting underneath this edge that's going to change the way I shape the surface. So the first thing I'm going to do here is take that thickness away from underneath. It will help me evaluate what my surface shaping needs to be. Now let's come into our nail plate contouring. This nail went on beautifully. There's very little shaping to do. As I move into the cuticle corner, it cleans up nicely. Very little to do because of the way I pillowed my first and last and then just barely blended my flex there. Now I move into the free edge and contour my free edge in with my bit moving diagonally. If you bring your bit straight through, you're going to flatten this line that you've created out. So blend in with a diagonal. It will complement the contours that you're creating. Now let's take another look into the barrel. You can see the support popping out of position, popping out of position. It's the only part of the nail that doesn't flow. That's telling me what needs to be filed off. With this technique of a shaping roadmap, leaving the 5th step to the last, you will not compromise the strength of your structure and enable yourself to shape a beautifully thin nail that's still very, very strong. See how those lines are all even now. Now we finished this part of our shaping process. We're going to turn our electric file off and change our bit without turning the Timmel off or removing the attachment. We simply take our bit out and we're going to place that bit in just above the line that indicates the grit. Blue means medium. This is a cross-cut diamond. And simply turn your machine to lock position and you are ready to go with your detail bit. Now we just use the very, very corner of the bit on the very outside edge of the growth channel. See that little bit of debris that kicks out of there? That's product that's going to prevent us from creating a good seal with our last coat. It's very important that this is cleaned up. Now this is the edge where our product let go on us. So the diamond bit is perfect at getting right along that growth channel and cleaning it up perfectly so that we can seal with our last coat of shine. Now we're going to do what we call our CU. See the C as I move my bit with full contact through the entire nail plate up the structure. I come to my smile line, I reverse into a letter U. So there's the U over the bridge and then into the C that follows the cuticle line. The CU technique brings all your lines together, balances everything, and we move on to the last nail, the thumb. Now let's just last time, watch carefully. With this diamond bit, I want to make sure that I'm only detailing the growth channel, not compromising the support bridge. So I'm not in this position, I'm in this outside position. The very edge of the bit on the very outside edge of the nail will give me that clean line. And as I come through the cuticle line, I'm very flush to the nail. I'm not on my corner, I'm not beveling. I'm bringing flush, clean strokes. So there's no ridge, no demarcation. And then as I move into the growth channel, again, I'm just on that very corner of my bit. I'm actually laying my bit right on the skin. Now let's do the CU. See the C, notice how my bit makes full contact. My strokes are even and full. I'm feeling the shape of the nail as I move through my CU. We are now done with our diamond bit and our CU contouring. Let's recradle our handpiece. Notice there's very little dust, if any. For that little tiny bit, I'll dust everything away. Now our next step is going to be hand shaping. For this, I like to use a board file. A board file is a softer file. It'll allow me to contour nicely. The board file that we encourage the use of is called a White Diamond Deluxe. So at this stage, I'm just reconfirming my growth channels, making sure that everything is in line and balanced, and softening this nail up. On our model today, we are going to bring a square nail in, but I want to soften that square nail into more of a squoval with some round edges. So to do that, I'm just going to bring my file right onto the very top edge of this free edge, just to soften it out. If you look carefully, you'll see my file isn't in full contact. It's only catching that top diagonal and that top diagonal. It's going to give this nail a little bit of a softer, narrower look without compromising, especially on this finger. The middle finger was quite wide, so let's just reconfirm the perimeters, reconfirm them, make sure they're set properly. Notice there's no catches where the free edge extends from growth channel into free edge. That's due to our good form placement at the beginning. So we're just confirming that that's good. Now to bring a narrower look into this nail with the 180 side of my file, I'm going to come up onto the corner and into the corner. And already you can see how much narrower that nail looks. To square, we're going to catch this file on each edge of that free edge extension evenly. Soften those corners in. As we move the file up into an angle, we're going to be able to round those corners. The more we go into a straight perpendicular, the more blunt square we get. The more we angle our file in, the softer that becomes. So I've got a bit of an ovaled in free edge with nice round corners. As we move into our next step, we're going to turn the hand over now. This next step is very important in cleaning up underneath. Where the form meets the natural nail, there's a little bit of a ridge there, and that ridge is something that you can pick at. What I'm going to do before you leave my desk is actually detail that ridge out with what we call a pointed diamond bit. Now to clean underneath, a peace sign upside down is the best grip to get a hold of that finger with control, and pull the pad of the skin back with your thumbnail and blend it down. Pull the skin back, carefully move through over onto the edge. The cleaner you can get this in your new nail application, the more likely your client's going to leave everything alone and not pick it off on you. Pull it back, just the tip of your bit touches. And see that debris right there on that edge? That's what we're working at getting rid of. Blend that in, cleaning up, and there we go. Nice and flush and clean. Now we're ready to move into our last portion of our finished application, our finishing. Before we put our last on, there's two things we have to do. We have to buff this nail surface and then wash it. So now we use what we call a Mambo file, and we're going to go through with a very, very quick light buff. If you leave that texture, when you put your very last shine coat on, it will actually pull a lot of your gel off and you won't get a nice deep full shine. So this is a quick step and a very important step. Don't skip it. and dust. Now we're moving into our very last steps of our finished application. We're going to return to our after wipe. Nice saturated nail wipe. Make sure you cleanse this nail down very, very thoroughly down into the growth channels, cuticle line, and underneath. Once we've cleansed down the nail plate, prior to our first and last application, which is our finishing shine, we need to reapply bondage. Bondage is used now on that very little edge that we cleared away with our diamond bit. We're going to apply bondage just through that area, right through where we detailed with our diamond bit. Just a little bit. Don't flood the tissue out. Nice and controlled. There we go. Now we're ready for our final coat, which is our shine. We warm our first and last up, which makes it very different from when we used it as a bond. When it's room temperature, it's a bonding gel. When it's warmed up, it's a sealing gel and provides a beautiful shine. Your first and last is applied with a very, very thin coat with a synthetic brush. Notice I've changed my brush. I like to use a synthetic bristle, being that I want this to be applied thin, and I want to control my pressure through the center, leave a little space, and detail right to the edges. First and last is one of two of our choices in our finishing gels. It is the most durable and the most flexible. If you happen to not encase your nail in full, first and last will fix it. It's a wonderful finished gel. Before I go in the light with you, I want to make sure that I have no tissue contact and no little bits of dust or fuzz that have gotten into this. This is my last chance to make these nails look beautiful. And as I look at this nail, I see a little pinprick of gel contact right here, and I also see a little tiny dust particle. So the first thing I'm going to do is take just a little baby bead and just paint it through that dust particle, which will pull it out and redeposit the gel back into position. The next thing I'm going to do is pick up my Pro Round brush that's beveled out at the end and clean that little tiny contact up right there. Now I'm ready to go into the light for a full cure of 2 minutes. At this point, we've now finished our full cure of 2 minutes. We're now ready to wipe the sticky film off with our after wipe. We're going to take our nail wipe, fully saturated with after wipe, and give it a really good cleanse off. This will ensure that every bit of sticky film is gone, and you've ended up with a beautiful full shine. Now, to finish, we have 2 more things left to do. We're going to take our board file, our nice white cushion board file, and we're going to detail the edges just very quickly. Sometimes your last coat will bleed a bit and cause a little bit of a catchy on the edge, and I don't want to send any client home with anything to pick at. Now we finish with our very, very last step, which is our rose oil. We apply it lightly through the cuticle and allow it to be dropped under each free edge. We recommend rose oil as a daily application, even 2 or 3 times a day, to hydrate and nourish, to keep the skin and the hands beautiful. So with that final application of rose oil, we like to take a dry nail wipe now and give these nails just a little tiny bit of a buff to maximize the shine. Remove the excess rose oil that's sitting on the surface. Once we've finished this, we have completed our Nail Basics new nail sculpting process.
Nail Basics sculpting forms are unique to our industry in that the color is a soft yellow instead of the traditional dark blue or black. The soft pigment of yellow helps ensure that you sculpt your white extensions with minimal thickness. Dark forms can lead you to believe there are shadows when truly there are not, which encourages a thicker application that is not necessary. Our sculpting forms are made from a high-quality disposable foil with good adhesion. These forms hold the C-curve and stay together. Nail Basics After Wipe is a cleanser and dehydrator. It is specially formulated to provide the perfect, dry, clean surface to apply our gel system effectively. It will also clean and neutralize the sticky film of your cured gel application. Used generously, After Wipe will cleanse away any sticky residue on your work area, tools, and skin to prevent the potential of contact dermatitis. Nail Basics Bondage is a gel adhesive that promotes a non-aggressive bond between the natural nail protein and Nail Basics gel chemistry. It creates a Velcro-like fusion to the natural nail without the use of an aggressive acid base. It is used prior to your gel application to ensure a long-lasting seal. Working with the protein and polymer chemistry, Bondage recognizes the keratin of the natural nail and attaches to the polymer of Nail Basics First and Last Bonding Gel. Bondage is applied to the entire prepared nail plate in 2 to 5 coats, depending on the condition and moisture content of the natural nail, and again just before the final shine is applied. No curing time is required. First and Last is our bonding gel as well as our finishing shine. It is a medium viscosity, clear, non-yellowing gel resin. We recommend working with 2 pots of First and Last, 1 pot at room temperature to create a good foundation bonding layer, and the second pot warmed to create a final sealed shine that is flexible and durable. To bond, apply First and Last with the Nail Basics Pro Round brush using our pillow technique, and then freeze for 20 seconds in the curing lamp. For the final shine, we recommend Nail Basics Gold Synthetic Oval Brush, using a light painting pressure, then cure for a full 2 minutes, no more, no less. Flex is the diamond of the Nail Basics gel chemistry and has the thinnest viscosity of our building gels. It is the most flexible while still being incredibly strong. Flex is ideal for creating a very thin nail enhancement for the client with her natural nails completely grown out and needs only protection and not corrective work. To achieve the best control with Flex, we recommend the Nail Basics White Oval Sable Brush, with a floating pressure coupled with our tuck and pull technique. When layering, freeze between layers for 20 seconds. When sculpting is complete, cure for a full 2 minutes. Flexure is the industrial-grade diamond of the Nail Basics gel chemistry and is recommended when you're looking for more durability for the client that has a more active lifestyle. This thicker viscosity gel limits flexibility but delivers more strength in the support bridge and helps eliminate cracking and pockets in nail fills for the client that tends to be harder on her nails. Apply Flexure in the bridge of the nail only, and then blend in with Flex. This will provide flexibility through the foundation of the nail plate, maximizing strength. To achieve the best control with Flexure, we recommend the Nail Basics White Oval Sable Brush with a floating pressure coupled with our tuck and pull technique. When layering, freeze between layers for 20 seconds. When sculpting is complete, cure for a full 2 minutes. Like Flexure, Build is also in the industrial-grade diamond category and has the thickest viscosity of our building gels. Build provides the most strength for the support bridge and has the ability to create a C-curve on the flattest of nail beds. This gel is the best choice when applying new nails for nail biters, splayed nails, or a client with a very aggressive lifestyle. Build is applied in the bridge of the structure only, and then blended in with Flex, We do not recommend applying build through the entire nail plate, as this will eliminate the flexibility required in the gel nail and may actually cause popping and separation. To achieve the best control with build, warm the gel. This will allow a slow, self-level, controlled application. We recommend using Nail Basics white oval sable brush with an even pressure, maintaining contact to prevent air bubbles. When layering, freeze between layers for 20 seconds. When sculpting is complete, cure for a full 2 minutes. Frost is our new nail sculpting gel and is the strongest and thickest of our whites. Combined with Build and Flex, you will be able to create the perfect set of new nails that will remain intact until your client's first nail fill. Frost is a soft white that provides a complete hard cure on the nail forms. This gel has a very thick viscosity with a slow self-level property that provides control when sculpting and creates crisp smile lines. Warm this gel for best results. The Nail Basics Pro Round Brush is recommended with Frost for application and smile lines, using an even pressure with the parallel, circle, tuck and pull technique. Freeze for 20 seconds and continue to sculpt the nail structure. French is a multi-purpose gel with the same soft white color as Frost, but has a thinner viscosity. New nails can be created with this gel. You will need to sculpt one at a time because of the thinner viscosity, and the smile lines will not be as crisp as with Frost. The strength factor is not that of Frost. If you prefer to build with a thin, quick, self-level gel like French, Nail Basics recommends 2 layers of French to obtain the strength required for success in a new nail application. French is a great gel for nail fills for the client that is looking for a more natural, softer smile line and a soft white French look. French is also ideal as a curing foundation for snow in a nail fill application. When the natural nail is not present to apply snow, a form is needed. French mimics the natural nail that is missing. Apply very thin, just like the natural nail would be. This is only to block the shine of the form so the full cure of snow can occur. The Nail Basics Pro Round Brush is recommended with French for application and smile lines, using a light pressure with a parallel, circle, tuck and pull technique. Freeze for 20 seconds and continue to build nail structure. Vanilla is a creamy white that mimics the natural nail's pigment and is ideal for the client that prefers to have a more natural nail extension. Vanilla has a similar viscosity to French and can be sculpted in the same fashion. It is also intended for repairs when the natural nail overlay breaks, as it recreates the extension with the same tone as the natural free edge. The Nail Basics Pro Round Brush is recommended for vanilla, application and smile lines, using a light pressure with a parallel, circle, tuck and pull technique. Freeze for 20 seconds and continue to build nail structure. Snow is the brightest white in the Nail Basics collection of whites. It is recommended only in a nail fill application, as the chemistry of snow does not cure well on the shine of a nail form. This gel does not self-level. It stays exactly where you place it and allows you to sculpt all 5 extensions and wipe smile lines without needing to cure in between. This advantage gives you control and speed. With snow, you will achieve the sharpest smile lines ever. The Nail Basics Pro Round Brush or the Nail Basics White Oval Sable is recommended for snow application and smile lines. A very light floating touch with a parallel, circle, tuck and pull technique works very well with this non-leveling gel. Freeze for 20 seconds and continue to build nail structure. Blush is Nail Basics one-step hypoallergenic gel, used to bond, build, and finish with frost as an extension. The client that indicates allergies or sensitivities to gels will be able to wear nail enhancements. Nail Basics recommends that this gel only be used in the rare case of reactions to the regular components in our gel line. The aging properties are compromised in this chemistry. To get a non-reactive formula, we must give up key agents that deliver the longevity and flexibility in the Nail Basics gels. Apply with the Nail Basics White Oval Sable for the structure and the Pro Round for the frost extension. Warm an 8-gram pot of blush for the shine. Apply with the Nail Basics Gold Oval Synthetic for best results. Freeze each layer of application for 20 seconds. When structure is complete, cure for 2 minutes. Recover is a very opaque pink correction gel. Recover will hide red marks on the nail plate, often caused from overworking the filing tool with too much pressure and incorrect angles used when removing product in a fill or finishing the edges of application. Use sparingly and blended well prior to the application of first and last. Recover will hide the mark and allow it to grow out unnoticed. Apply with the Nail Basics Pro Round Sable or the Nail Basics White Oval Sable. Freeze for 20 seconds and continue with application of nails. Luster is a very thin, very hard finishing gel that has the shiniest of shines. Applied to the perfectly finished and well-structured nail, this top coat will make your nail art stand out and sparkle like never before. It is beautiful, however, it will not work well on a very active client that tends to go too long in between fills or on a very thin, longer than normal enhancement. This chemistry may lead to cracks. Luster can be picky in its application. Nail Basics Gold Synthetic Brush is ideal for a successful application. A very light pressure is recommended. If overworked, skid marks can easily appear. One brush stroke too heavy will remove the gel, leaving it too thin to cure evenly. A good trick is to apply an even coat, freeze it for 30 seconds, apply a second light coat, and complete the cure for the final 2 minutes. Rose oil is applied after the sticky film of the final cure is removed with afterwipe. Rose oil will rehydrate the tissue while it feeds the lipids of the cuticle tissue, building a resistance to environmental breakdown and allergens. Antibacterial and antifungal properties are invaluable characteristics brought to this product through the essential rose oil in the formulation. Rose oil also contains vitamin A, which is nourishing to the whole nail structure and surrounding tissue. Vitamin E, which is healing and helps to minimize the occurrence of paronychia and hangnails. Sunflower oil finishes the magic with hydration to the natural nail keratin, helping prevent the natural nail free edge from pulling away from the nail enhancement. Specifically designed for the Erica's MT20 electric file, the Timmel is an ingenious design that eliminates 98% of gel nail dust from the nail technician's working area. The Nail Basics Timmel is designed to comfortably fit the nail technician's hand. Weighing in at a mere 17 grams, this stainless steel attachment, coupled with surgical tubing, ensures an ergonomically friendly grip of the MT20 electric file handpiece. Nail Basics Brush Collection provides a full range of application and finishing brushes to suit each nail technician's personal preferences. Bondage brush, thin, long-handled for precise application of bondage. White Oval Sable, long-handled, ideal for application of clear sculpting gels. Gold Oval Synthetic, long-handled, ideal for the application of the final shine. Pro Round Sable, short, plexi handle, ideal for the application of white gels and wiping smile lines. Pro Gold Synthetic, short plexi handle, ideal for the quick, efficient application of the final shine on a large nail plate. Pro 5 Sable Square, short plexi handle for the application of clear sculpting gels when the preference is a small square-edged brush. Pro 6 Sable Square, short plexi handle for the application of clear sculpting gels when the preference is a medium square-edged brush. Our gel warming plate is fashioned from high-quality tempered glass. Coupled with our 17-watt heat element, this pair provides the ideal temperature and spacious surface to bring Nail Basics heat-tolerant chemistry to a favorable viscosity, providing ease of application and fabulous sealing properties. Nail Basics recommends warming first and last to seal your finished shine with, frost to sculpt a new nail extension with ease, and build for a jelly-like self-level that eliminates bubbles in the application. Nail Basics Curing Lamp is a full hand curing unit with 4 36-watt UVA bulbs. A full reflective coating provides an even cure to our Nail Basics gel resin chemistry. The bulbs cure for approximately 500 hours. A busy nail technician needs to update the bulbs approximately every 4 to 6 months. Replacement liners are available to maintain a clean, sanitary interior. The light has an optional stay on or 120-second timer position.